Okay, how am I going to put this? How's it going, my dudes? Today's video is going to be a little bit different. I need to address something very, very important, really important, and I apologize for having to make this video, okay? I have been sent countless DMs about this issue, and frankly, now is no better time to really spell out how I feel about these questions from a perspective of a content creator, okay? So for the sake of the longevity of my YouTube channel and for the continued support of my viewers, well, I have resorted to this. Alright, so a lot of you guys have been asking me countless times, what are the perfect S3s for these Nat 5s, okay? Be it in-game, be in the DMs, be it in the comment section down below, yeah, just keep the comments coming, by the way. So I'm gonna have to address all these questions once and for all, okay? So we will try to work our way down all the Nat 5s. So Nat 5 number 1, Selene. I've been asked this a lot, okay? So the question is Lunar Light more important than Celestial Lotus, or how do you even use these two skills? Okay, so personally for me, I feel like Celestial Lotus is definitely the way to go, okay, because it gives you the biggest heal in the game, albeit slightly high on the cooldown, 6 turns reduced to 5. I feel like this is going to be the way to go, because I've tried both, okay, I've even maxed out my Lunar Light, and I feel like the 100% chance to grant invincibility is not really that effective. Why? Because the moment you heal your ally, he actually gets the haste buff. The invincibility kinda becomes a little bit less meaningful because you're just gonna complete your invincibility state much sooner. In a sense, okay, it's gonna be more clutch, but it's not gonna be like game changing. But for the regen on this skill, it's gonna be a lot more impactful. And for this skill, no one cares. You don't want to set your team up to die so that this skill becomes useful. It's that kind of logic, okay? I would rather you have a lot of heals rather than having to resort to reviving someone. Next up, Arcanist. Magic Pierce when attack enemies with negative status effects. 70% chance to increase damage by 20%. This is okay for PvP. I think this is good for PvP, but I don't think that this skill is necessarily good for PvE, for the simple fact that this is the only skill that is going to be guaranteed DPS, okay? Because these two skills, they are going to be really random, okay? Her S2s are all very, very random, so they're not going to be really effective in targeting the boss when you want her to. So I would say that this is more for PvP. This skill gains immunity against action lock effects, 30% chance to ignore enemies' resistance. This is not bad, okay? This is quite good for all purposes, but frankly speaking, I don't really use Arcanist for PvE, so in terms of PvP, this is quite useful that you cannot be stunned. You cannot be stunned by Medusa. You can just keep on going as you need to, okay? And finally, Diffuse. This is by far my favorite skill. I would definitely go with Diffuse all the time. Spread targets negative status effects to all enemies that immediately gain an attack turn. So this already guarantees you another turn. So having this skill is always a good thing because you're always going to be able to use your S2 right after anyway. So I love using Diffuse. I think this is the one to go. And next, I'm not really going to talk too much about Archmage because, frankly, I find these two skills to be like, yeah, it's alright, but if you're going to go for PvP, this is definitely the one that I would recommend. At the start of battle, 30% chance to increase all enemy skill cooldowns by 1 turn, effect does not stack. So this is really very game breaking, okay, in terms of combating speed teams. Just this hero alone, Archmage, his mere existence cancels speed comms from doing their thing, because all you need to do is to just prevent one single enemy from doing something and their combo is screwed, okay? So it's either the ATB, the energy booster is ruined, or the attack buffer is ruined, or the defense breaks are gone, or whatever, the DPS, okay? Something like that. So this is the one that I would go with. And next, Dragoon. Okay, so Guardian Heart, Royal Offense, and Knight's Glory, I feel like they are all good. They are all good. They are slightly different, okay? So these two, you have like some kind of counter to them, right? 20% chance to counter a target if being hit by a critical strike. This one is when allies are attacked, 20% chance to counter. So there is some kind of counter element here which can be quite useful, mostly for PvP. The Dragoon is just a straight up PvP hero, so it depends on really what you need. If you want to be a very tanky, outlasting the enemy kind of hero, especially for Guild Wars, okay? Because in Guild Wars, your attacks do not increase over time. Your damage that you deal do not increase over time. So as long as you're able to resist the enemy from the start, you'll be able to resist the enemy throughout. So this Guardian Heart might be actually quite useful. This is going to be a bit niche. right? You need to be hit by a critical strike, but it's still good. Okay, it's kind of like a Camilla in Summoner's War. And this one, reduce damage taken by 20% when allies are attacked, 20% chance to counter the attacker. Is the counter is really quite shit, to be honest. 20% chance, that's not a big deal. And she's not really like a big damage dealer. She doesn't stun on her S1, which makes this skill not that good. So I'll stick to one of these two, right? But personally, I'll go with Guardian Heart. Okay, Mountain King, I don't really need to talk too much about him because I don't think people are that interested in Mountain King. But to be honest, I find Thunder Hammer to be the best. Okay, so if the target is affected by action, locked, increase damage, the final damage by 1.5 times, which is, it is a crit on its own. So it has an innate crit with a super high multiplier, 885%. And there's one skill that, yeah, summon a Storm Hammer to attack enemy, deals damage, and 90% chance to stun the target and reduce their defense for 1 turn. This is absolutely crazy, okay? Because if the target is stunned or is already stunned, you immediately gain a bonus attack turn. So that means you defense break the guy, you stun the guy, bam. This goes very well with one of the Sanctified skills where if the enemy is stunned, you do an extra 30% damage. It's one of the Sanctified skills, go and check it out. Thunder Hammer, sure to nuke, sure to probably one-shot any tanks out there. Okay, Elven Queen. This is by far the most interesting hero in the Lawful faction, sorry. Reduce all enemies' energy by 50% and restores all allies' HP by 30%. This is so good. On its own, this skill is really so useful. Really good for speed comps. And this one is a little bit different, okay? So you grant immunity to your allies for 3 turns and invincibility for 1 turn. This is more tailored towards a defensive lineup, okay? So if you max this out at 6 turns, half the time you'll be on immunity. Your whole team, half the time will be on immunity, and invincibility one out of 6 times, right? Yeah, but really good for tanky comps because the immunity really helps in preventing combos from happening, okay? 3 turns of immunity is a real big difference because they can't do anything to you for the whole 3 turns unless they somehow manage to strip you. Okay, so remain on the battlefield at a spirit, blah, blah, blah. This is garbage, okay? This is garbage. And next we have Enchantress. Yes, one of my most favorite heroes in this game. Okay, Charm. This is definitely the one to go, okay? There's no doubt about it. Stun them for 1 turn, slow them for 3 turns, clear their energy. This is... You cannot even resist this skill. So even if you had 0% hit, you will still do this. So you can build her however you want. You can build her tanky, and this skill will still always go off. And if you max it, cooldowns with 5 turns, really good. Draconian Princess. Okay, so after attacking, the Draconic Soul protect itself for 1 turn. So basically, after you take a turn, you are protected for 1 time, and then you reflect all damage that you receive for like the first hit. Okay, so it's kind of useful, but frankly, you can easily just stop this skill from being effective by having a real fast unit like a Windwalker. Just poke her, you know, and then the buff is gone. That's it. Draconic Guardian. When an ally is hit with a critical strike, 70% chance to restore 15% of all allies' energy. This is the only reason why she's good, to be honest. This passive right here, as long as an ally is hit by a critical strike, boom, your whole team moves up 15%. So you can really stop a lot of fast comms from invading your safe space by boosting and cutting in between the enemy. At the start of the turn, 70% chance to erase all of own negative status effects. Nah. Her point is not to be a sitting duck. Her point is to be really annoying to the enemy. Okay, so legit question that I've actually received. Petrified Eye or Devouring Poison. Okay, so for Petrified Eye, you're just crowd controlling the entire enemy line for 1 turn, reduce the energy by 50%. Alright, and then the other skill is attack enemy 3 times. I bet you don't even know that this skill exists, okay? So for the bulk of you out there, I bet you don't even know Devouring Poison exists. Attack enemy 3 times, each attack deals 230% of attacking damage. This is a real good multiplier, by the way. So if the target is poison, restore 10% of all allies' HP and you reset this skill's cooldown. So this skill seems to be only useful if you've already dropped a poison, which means that there has to be a pre-existing condition, okay? And then after that, you restore 10% of all allies' HP, you're like some kind of support, and then you reset this skill's cooldown, so you can actually drop this skill many times, dealing a lot of damage. But to be honest, Petrified Eye, this is the way to go, okay? CCing everything helps everywhere. It helps all content. It helps you in your Spire, it helps you in your Vapor, helps you in your PvP, helps you in your Catacombs, everything. This is the best S3. This is the best S3 in the whole game, period. Okay, Fallen Angel, okay, sorry, excuse me. So this is quite special because seriously, all his S3s they kind of fit like a different criteria. Okay, so rank core power, okay, reflect 90% of damage back at the attacker, ignores defense, 70% chance to recover 20% on an energy. This fits a very tanky Fallen Angel, okay, which also fits a very I mean, like his S2B is going to be a lot more effective if you're tanky. So rank of power kind of good if you're going to go with Corrupted Source. And then next, Seraph's power, not even corruption can dispel true and blah 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 blah. When affected by negative status effect, 100% at max to gain immunity. So basically he cannot be crowd control, he cannot be whatever, nothing even lands on him as long as you max this skill out. Which kind of makes it a bit weird. So you're not going to be able to use this, right? Because you absorb all of your allies' negative status effects, but you don't even have negative status effects on yourselves, which means that you're actually compensating. No, you're anti-compensating on yourself. So you don't really want to use these two skills together. So it depends on what you want to build him with. If you want to go with Corrupted Source, you don't really want to go with Seraph's power, okay? You kind of want to have like the dots on yourself. You kind of want to have like a defense breaks, whatever. Corrupted power, increase damage by 0.15% for each point of speed. Attacks reduce enemies' energy by 25%. 5% chance to gain a bonus attack turn. Okay, so there's so many things in this passive. This is by far the passive that I would recommend if you're going to go with an attack type Fallen Angel. This is what I would recommend, okay? Attack type Fallen Angel with a lot of speed, this is what you want. It kind of works for tanky Fallen Angel as well. You do more damage based on your speed, and your attacks reduce enemies' energy. Well, I guess it's useful in like, I don't know, the early first two waves, I'm not sure, okay, but because you're not going to be able to do that on the boss, okay, the energy reduction is not going to work on the boss. It's still useful for this, there is still some use, so yeah, either this or this. Shaman, Voodoo Curse. Popo, okay, so there are two main S3s, okay, so depending on how you want to build your Popo, I would highly recommend you to go with Bamboo Grove if you're going with Invisibility Spell, because Invisibility Spell naturally reduces Bamboo Grove's cooldown by 1 extra turn. So your Bamboo Grove is going to be on like a 3 turns cooldown, okay, so you Bamboo Grove, then your turn comes again, you Invisibility Spell, you normal attack, you Bamboo Grove once again, because you'll be gaining a lot of turns with this. And if you're going to go with Jade Zen, your cooldown is always going to be fresh, so you can really just go with Hidden Rage. I feel like Hidden Rage would be the best match with Jade Zen, and Invisibility Spell goes the best with Bamboo Grove. So depending on how you want to build, either these two or these two. Noctura, okay, so a lot of people think that she's pretty shit. Personally, I feel like she's gonna be really good for Hydra, because Hydra is a stand-alone boss. There is no supporting towers beside him. Okay, I've seen some videos on this. There are no supporting towers beside him, alright? Which means that only one boss, this will always go on the boss. Okay, so the marks, these two marks, they will always go on the boss. So depending on what you need, if you need to reduce all cooldowns of your own skills, or reduce the target's defense by blah 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 blah, or if you you know what, you have a 10% chance to attack again, whatever. I think this is the better one. I'm not sure. I don't really have her. I mean, what do you mean I don't have her, so I can't say for sure, but I think this is the one that you want to go with. Okay, Lich King. So I've seen both sides of the coin, okay? I've seen people running Undead Soul, I've seen people running Deathwheel. Personally, I feel like Undead Soul is the one to go, okay? Because you're gonna build Lich King really squishy, really glass cannon-y. So you want him to be able to sit there and just keep dishing out the damage, even when he's dead, okay? So what if he's dead? He's just gonna keep on attacking. Undead Soul works the best, okay? Because even when he's dead, he can still cast his thunder or whatever that you're giving him, Fog Lightning, okay? But if you use Deathwheel, you'll be dead for 2 turns and you can't even attack for those 2 turns, which means that you're building him as support. I don't get it. This skill, frankly, not that useful. He cannot move, he cannot do anything during these 2 turns. Well, yes, your team can keep reviving, but that means it's gonna be like 3v4. Why would you want to build a character so that you can 3v4 for an extended period of time? I have not seen a comp that worked really well with Deathwheel thus far. Okay, so there's a bit of a conflict here. Deathly Curse slash Blood Pact. I don't really see people doing Soul Drain and performing that well. Blood Pact is good because it's like a guaranteed absorb every single turn that you take. So this runs very well if you're running Berserk runes. However, Deathly Curse runs very well if you're going slow. Okay, and if you're going slow, Metal Storm is a very good support if you're going slow, because you're just going to have your Metal Storm buff on you, your spikes on you for much longer period of time, alright? So Deathly Curse goes well with Metal Storm, but the problem with Deathly Curse is it can be resisted, and if it is resisted, good luck to you. 5 turns of a useless piece of junk. That's it. Okay, so if you get resisted, you're screwed. So if the enemy has resistance lead, you're gone, you're dead. So I would generally prefer Blood Pact because even if the Dragoon, even the enemy Dragoon duels you, you would still be able to proc your Blood Pact every single time. So you don't even need to worry about being dueled indefinitely, and then you're not gonna be able to deathly curse anyone. Blood Pact is very safe. Succubus, definitely Charm Wings. I don't even know what these two skills do. I don't even care. Charm Wings. Spider Queen, this one is a bit special, okay? Because I did a video covering her on how to use Hypnotic Net, okay? So go check out the video. I think I'll put a link on top or something like that. Most people run Trapping Web because they want to do a lot of damage or they want to clear the fodder waves real quick, like in Blackpool Hills. Some people play with Cobweb, just a few. While alive, she moves first at the start of the arena, which means that you already have an immediate chance to lower the enemy's HP, something like that. So this is really good for PvP. This is really good for everywhere basically. Abyss Lord, okay, Abyss power is the way to go. He works as a stripper on his own, so he just needs a normal attack. He will strip all the buffs, okay, so it's really good for PvE, very good for PvP. I've seen some people do this, but frankly, 15% chance to counter attack, 25% chance at max, it's not gonna matter, okay? Yeah, you're gonna burn people a lot, but you know, people are gonna outlive the burn. You're not gonna be able to do a lot with this skill. Moving on to Ironheart, okay. So there are two main skills, Defensive Alert and Thick and Thin. This one, I have seen people use it, but I haven't seen people use it really well, okay? Thick and Thin, this is more early game because you have a 30% damage mitigation for your whole party. Really good for early game. However, for the end game purposes, this is gonna be the most OP skill ever on a tank. Okay, so while alive, your whole team is immune to defense down. You cannot be cleaved that way. Immune to defense down really stops you from being attacked by a lot of different kinds of enemies. People run Succubus, gone. People run Popo, gone. You're totally protected. Okay, and finally, so which S3 should you pick? You want to go Asia Pacific? You want to go Europe? You want to go America? Come join us in Worldwide, man.